Something big is happening behind the scenes in Australia, and the urgency is impossible to ignore. A sudden fuel crisis has triggered immediate action at the highest level of government, with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese calling a snap national cabinet meeting that has caught both officials and the public off guard. This is not routine. This is an emergency response to a rapidly evolving situation that could have serious consequences across the country. Reports indicate that fuel supply pressures have intensified, raising concerns about availability, pricing, and the stability of critical supply chains that keep the nation moving. As leaders from across states and territories rushed into discussions, the tone was described as serious, focused, and highly urgent. The government is now working to assess the scale of the disruption and determine how to respond before the situation escalates further. Key decision-makers are looking at multiple strategies, including securing supply lines, managing distribution, and preparing contingency plans in case shortages worsen. There is growing concern about how this crisis could impact transportation networks, logistics operations, and everyday consumers who rely on stable fuel access. The developments are unfolding quickly, and officials are under pressure to act decisively. Early signals suggest that authorities are prioritizing coordination between federal and state levels to ensure a unified response, minimizing confusion and maximizing efficiency. This sudden move has also sparked attention internationally, as global markets and partners watch closely to see how Australia handles the situation. For now, the focus remains on immediate stabilization efforts, but the speed at which events are unfolding suggests that further announcements could come at any moment. The message is clear: this is a critical moment, and decisions made now could shape the outcome of the crisis in the days ahead. As the emergency discussions continue, more details are beginning to emerge about the government's priorities and the potential actions being considered. Officials are reportedly analyzing supply chain vulnerabilities that may have contributed to the current situation, while also exploring ways to reinforce fuel reserves and ensure continuity of essential services. One of the biggest concerns is the potential ripple effect across industries that depend heavily on fuel, including transportation, agriculture, and manufacturing. Even a short disruption could lead to rising costs, delays, and broader economic pressure. Inside the National Cabinet meeting, leaders are believed to be weighing both short-term fixes and longer-term strategies to prevent similar crises in the future. This includes evaluating infrastructure resilience, supply diversification, and emergency preparedness frameworks. The urgency of the situation is reflected in the pace of decision-making, with authorities aiming to move quickly while still ensuring that actions are effective and sustainable. Public communication is also becoming a key focus, as the government works to keep citizens informed without causing unnecessary panic. The balance is delicate, providing transparency while maintaining stability. Meanwhile, experts are closely monitoring fuel distribution patterns and warning that any imbalance could quickly escalate if not addressed. The situation is also drawing attention to broader questions about energy security and how countries prepare for unexpected disruptions in critical resources. Australia's response in the coming hours and days could serve as a case study for how governments manage sudden supply crises under pressure. While there is still uncertainty about the full extent of the issue, one thing is clear: this is not a minor challenge. The coordinated response now underway reflects the seriousness of the threat and the determination to prevent it from spiraling into a larger national problem. The impact of this unfolding fuel crisis could extend far beyond immediate supply concerns, potentially influencing economic stability, consumer confidence, and even international perceptions of Australia's resilience. If fuel availability tightens or prices surge significantly, everyday life could be affected in ways that are both visible and disruptive, from higher transportation costs to increased prices for goods and services. Businesses that rely on consistent fuel access may face operational challenges, and any prolonged instability could lead to wider economic consequences. This is why the government's rapid response is so critical. By bringing together national and regional leaders, the aim is to create a unified strategy that addresses both the immediate threat and the underlying vulnerabilities that allowed it to emerge. Observers are now watching closely for concrete outcomes from the emergency meeting, including policy announcements, resource allocations, or new measures designed to stabilize the situation. There is also growing interest in how this crisis might influence future energy planning and whether it will accelerate efforts to strengthen supply security. The decisions made in this moment could have long-term implications, shaping how the country prepares for and responds to similar challenges in the future. For now, the focus remains on action, coordination, and rapid problem-solving. The situation is fluid, and updates are expected as leaders finalize their approach and begin implementing solutions. This is a defining moment that highlights the importance of readiness, resilience, and effective leadership in times of uncertainty. As the story continues to develop, one thing remains certain: the stakes are high, and the world is watching. For more global breaking news and major updates like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for our next report.